Hello YouTube, thank you for tuning into my channel. In this series, I'm going to be exploring uh, a mixture of contradictions and pagan origins of the Abrahamic faiths, specifically Christianity, and I will probably touch Islam and Judaism as well. Now, originally you'd think, okay, you're going to start from Genesis and move down, but because it's the Christmas season and I see a lot of these memes I need to address real quick. Stay the hell away from the movie Zeitgeist. It's completely slapped with stupid. The person who wrote it did no research or outright lying. Anyways, Jesus is not a carbon copy of Horus. When a Christian who is about to give up some of their dogmatic faith comes across this meme, they do some fact checking and find out that's bogus. You harm the cause. You harm the very reason why you posted it. Don't do it. Jesus actually has more in common with other gods. In one of my videos, I'm going to tie him to an Egyptian god, which might surprise you, or at least the method. But stop passing this Horus myth around, okay? All right. Jesus, born of a virgin, is a claim Christians have. Well, first of all, if you want to point out that it's somebody who's going to be the real shit, right? You got a miraculous birth is how you want to do it in the ancient world. So they will go to Isaiah. It's and they'll point to Isaiah chapter 7 verse 14, I believe, and say right there, see, it's proof, born of a virgin. Problem is, the original Hebrew does not say this. This is an intentional mistranslation to fit a narrative, or an accidental one which conveniently fit a narrative. The Hebrew word used there is Alma, which means young woman. There is a reason why Jews of the ancient world were not looking for a virgin birth for their Messiah. There is a reason why modern Jews are not looking for a virgin birth per se for their Messiah, because in their scriptures it doesn't say there's a virgin birth. Okay, you see, that's easy to make a claim when most of the Christians will never read the original manuscripts, and 2,000 years ago you can never foresee where technology would be and the ability to fact check. But of course, humans don't really do that. They like being comfortable. They like to be spoon-fed. Don't mean to be insulting, but people don't like to have to question their own beliefs. They just don't. All right, so yeah. Anyways, and then if you read Isaiah, you find out it's not even talking about the Messiah. You see, if you continue to read, you find out that during this time, Israel was split into two kingdoms, and there was about to be a civil war. Northern kingdom and southern kingdom. God supposedly sends Isaiah to the southern kingdom to warn the southern kingdom that the northern kingdom just got uber powerful because they got an alliance with one of their enemies. And basically, to make a long story short, eventually this would supposedly fail, and in about 65 years or so, the northern kingdom would not even exist anymore, and the 10 tribes of Israel that lived there in the northern kingdom would be exiled and dispersed and then disappear. This is where the so-called legends of the lost tribes of Israel comes from, okay? Anyways, so he prophesies, Isaiah, about a woman that will give birth in his lifetime, not in the distant future, and he doesn't say virgin. He says Alma, young woman. They'll point to, Christians would like to try to point to the Septuagint, which is a Greek translation of the Hebrew text. And they'll say it means there, it says virgin. Right now, the Greek word used there is escaping me, but it's Pantheos. Panthenos. I am saying this is wrong, but it begins with a P, but it means maiden, not young woman. And even then, all through the Septuagint, whenever it talks about a virgin, it's using about a virgin word. The word used in the Hebrew text, whenever it's talking about a virgin in all of the books of the Old Testament, is Petula. Petula, virgin. So the word Alma just means young, which does not denounce anything about her sexual sexual state of being. She's a virgin or whatnot. However, and it's about a kid born in that lifetime of Isaiah with that woman who's actually there, predicting that she's going to give birth, and she's going to name him Emmanuel, which means God is with us. They'll try to point to that, say that's what Jesus is supposed to be. However, the name Jesus and Emmanuel are not even related in the name. You see, in the name, okay, if you go to Latin America, the Christians there will pronounce Jesus' name Jesus. Okay, it's the same name, different pronunciation of the same name. Same thing in ancient Israel and the ancient language. Jesus would be pronounced Joseph or Yeshua in Aramaic. Yeshua in Aramaic. But in Hebrew, whenever you hear, Joshua, not Joseph, Joshua. Sorry. So whenever you hear the word Joshua, it is technically the same name as Jesus, just a different pronunciation. You guys can, no, it's not. It is. So effectively, names are pronounced differently over time and through different cultures, and of the same culture through different time frames. English in the Middle Ages does not sound like the English today. If you was to build a time machine, go back 500 years ago even, they probably wouldn't understand you, and you might not even understand them speaking English. But Emmanuel does not equate to Jesus, just doesn't. Mary, if that was talking about the Messiah, then Jesus' name should have been Emmanuel. Another problem that they'll claim, see, the Messiah, Jesus, was supposed to be born in the lineage of the house of David. Lineage only travels in the Jewish culture back then only through the masculine line. So it would not matter if Mary was related to King David. They wouldn't have acknowledged it because her line or his line would ended with Mary because she's a female. So if Jesus was born of a virgin, he would not have been acknowledged of being born of the house of David. So the Bible tries to get around this. They knew that. They knew that part of the culture. So they tried to give a genealogy and say, well, Joseph, here's the genealogy of Joseph. Let's prove that Joseph, Jesus' stepfather, is of the house of David. However, in 1st Matthew and then in 3rd Luke, you get two different genealogies. They don't match. The Bible cannot even agree on who Joseph's father was. So there's a clear contradiction. But of course, Christians will say one was given for Mary, one was given for Joseph. The problem is that if you read both in 1st Matthew and then in 3rd Luke, they both say this is the genealogy of Joseph, not Mary. So even in order to try to fix this contradiction, they grasp at straws and say, well, one's about Joseph, one's about Mary, that's why they're different. But the scripture literally says this is the genealogy of Joseph, not Mary and Joseph. So right there, that's blown out the water right there, that explanation. And then again, even if one of them was of Mary, sorry, their culture did not work the same as our culture, and Jesus would not have been acknowledged. Because Jesus also, if he fully existed, and I'm not really a Jesus mythicist. I do believe there was maybe a guy named Jesus walking around. But I will point to how he was overlaid with mythology. Jesus was a practicing Jew. He was circumcised. He was He was a practicing Jew, so Jesus came through the practicing laws of Torah. So it doesn't matter if he was legitimately the Son of God. God would have messed up by making a virgin birth in the first place, because Mary, if she was related to David, the genealogy would not have fit. They would have just abandoned it, because it doesn't follow through the line of the female, it follows through the line of the male in that ancient culture. So that's my little rant about that, and I'll do some more later. Take care. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Keep Yule in Yule time, and keep Saturn in Saturnalia. Peace be with you. Blessed be. Whatever.